Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video, I'm going to take you through the week ahead analysis. We're going to go over the news for the week and some charts of interest. So, some interesting data this week. Obviously, we have the big news for the week, which is the non-farm payroll data. Out of the US, we have average hourly earnings, the non-farm employment and the unemployment rate. And we can see forecasts are suggesting that average hourly earnings are going to be staying the same. Unemployment rate looks to be forecast the same as well, but it does look to show a potential drop in the numbers of jobs being created. Now, we should see really a potential increase to unemployment, also a decrease to the non-farm employment change, because this is a natural reaction to a central bank hiking interest rates. So to see negative numbers would be a sign that there's a potential for let's just say the changes from the interest rate to be sort of working on the economy. So that's going to be an interesting watch coming towards the end of the week. Before that, we have quite a bit of data to digest. We've got some CPI data out of Switzerland, affecting the Swiss franc. Now, obviously, we saw the Swiss National Bank hike interest rates recently for the first time since 2007, so that's quite significant. So they want to see CPI coming in lower. It's forecast to come in lower, but if there is a jump here to, either if it's the same at 0.7% as last time, then we could still see a intervention from the Swiss National Bank. So definitely an interesting watch first thing on Monday morning. This is British Standard Time, by the way, just to let you know that what I'm looking at is in the UK. We do have a bank holiday in the US, though, so there could be lower liquidity coming into Monday's session, just something to note. We do then have the RBA cash rate, so it looks like we're going to see a RBA interest rate hike. This has been sort of forecast for some time now, so we may not get a big reaction here, although we may start to see a little bit of upside to Aussie, depending on what comes out in the rate statement, whether they're going to again continue to hike aggressively. Other than that, just some other kind of PMI data and things like that to be aware of. We do have a couple of speeches towards the end of the week as well, you can see here, as well as FOMC meeting minutes, so we could see some volatility around those times. Going on to the strength meter then, just some things to note. We've seen CAD gain some strength recently. That could be something you look at going into this week. Last week ahead analysis video, we touched upon dollar CAD. I'll do so in this video as well. Kiwi remains the weakest currency. The Swiss franc remains the strongest, both in those reversal zones though, so we could start to see a decline in here, or either a sort of increase on the Kiwi side of things. Now we're starting to see a bit of a bottoming out. Again, I think if that inflation data comes in lower for the Swiss franc, it would drive the Swiss franc to the downside. If it comes in similar, we could see the strength remain. Going on to some charts of interest then, so we're going to look at Euro US dollar. The reason why this is interesting at the moment is because we've come back into an area where price found support over here previously, and also most recently we've got that kind of almost that double bottom effect going on here in the market at the minute. Now, this is all going to depend on how the dollar reacts this week. Does the dollar continue to kind of fall from those highs, or does it start to break out to the upside? Now, like I said before, fundamentally, the dollar is bullish, but it doesn't mean that the dollar can't retrace. It can't pull back into key areas. So I'll be interested to see how price reacts down here at these lows, whether we get another drive into it before seeing either a bounce or a break towards those areas. I think if we take this low out, obviously, that's quite significant, so we could see a continual downside. What I am going to be interested in is this previous swing high and this value area low on the weekly profiles. If price rejects that area and we stay below the value area low, Obviously, we're going to be opening up below last week's value area. So typically when that happens, we do see an extension to the downside. So this is the area I'm going to be interested in. And if price breaks above that, then we're going to see a potential pushback towards other volume levels like the point of control or either these highs at 105.20s. But if we stay below this sort of area, it could increase the selling pressure on Euro US dollar this week. Going on to Aussie US dollar then, so again another market that's quite interesting at the moment. We've seen the only difference between sort of Aussie US dollar and other major markets currently is the fact that price has broken below the swing lows. You can see there on the previous Euro US dollar, sorry, that we were back at those lows, whereas Aussie has broken through those lows. So that's quite interesting to see. Like I said, we do have a rate statement this week. So again, how does the market react to this? Now that we've created this new low, there is some support down here at 67.78. If you were to open up a daily chart and move back, you'd be able to see some decent support here at 67.78. So we could see a short-term bounce. And if you were to get a double bottom pattern, you could look for moves back up to the value area low in here. But again, value area low, this high in here is going to be pretty important to the market this week. If price holds below this level, we could see a continued drive down to the lows on Aussie US dollar. If it can take this area out, we could see some upside, but I don't know how likely upside is going to be to the Aussie US dollar at the minute. I think it could depend maybe on that rate statement and if they're going to hike rates a little bit more aggressively. We do have a lot of selling pressure up here at 70.20, so price could want to try and retest that area once again, which could be of interest, but I'd only be looking for that if price was to take out these highs through here. Dollar CAD then, so we did look at dollar CAD and we talked about the potential shorts coming in over through here. The market did decrease to the downside and we've had this very kind of shallow pullback. Now this is an hourly chart, and what we noticed was where price kind of formed this lower high and we saw lots of selling pressure coming into the market, price came and retested that zone and dropped again. So you can see these kind of wicks into that area. Price has then driven to the downside. Now strength meter showing the Canadian dollar gaining strength could be something we continue to watch for this week. At the moment, price is finding a bit of a base at this trend line, so we could see a bit of an extension higher from this area. However, what I'll be watching is this kind of selling area, and what I mean by that is every time price has climbed into these kind of levels here, sellers have retaken over in the market. Price has pushed lower. So if we were to see a retracement maybe back into this kind of zone, which starts around about 129.36, we could see a kind of final push down, maybe breaking through these lows through here, if that CAD is going to remain strong going into this week. So definitely something to watch there for dollar CAD to the downside. Finally then, S&P 500. What's been interesting about the S&P is we had a bit of a downward week. The market kind of closed this gap which we talked about previously, came into a key area on the chart around about the 3940s, double topped and drove to the downside. So again, selling pressure has come in around these highs. Okay, so price failed to kind of break that high in there. Big selling pressures coming in, so I want to see how price reacts if it comes back to it. I've got an alert set around about 3900, and if price can come back into that level there, we could see some sellers step back into the market and could see prices push back towards those lows. I think if price was to do that, then the downward sort of pressures that we're talking about on other markets, with the dollar potentially continue to remain strong, will kind of play out in that sense, because if the stock markets are going to drive lower, this could drive risk off sentiment, which could affect the likes of Aussie US dollar lower, Euro US dollar lower, just because of that dollar haven aspect. So look and watch the S&P around this sort of 3900 area. If it does make it there, there could be a swift change in the market sentiment. So keep an eye on that. I hope you enjoyed the video update. If you did, leave this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more Forex trading content. And I'll speak to you in the next video.